Commander Lily Sanders stood at the observation deck of Europa Station, her eyes fixed on the vast expanse of space. Jupiter loomed large in the viewport, its swirling clouds casting an orange glow across the icy moon's surface. 6 years she had spent here, leading Earth's most distant research outpost, and still the view took her breath away. "Commander, you need to see this." The voice of her second-in-command, Alan Wright, crackled through her comm unit. Something in his tone made her stomach tighten. "On my way," she replied, turning from the viewport and striding toward the command center. The year was 2083, and humanity had managed to establish permanent bases on Mars and Europa, but had yet to venture beyond the solar system. Earth was recovering from decades of climate disasters, finally united under the banner of the United Earth government. Lily entered the command center to find her team clustered around the main display. Their faces wore expressions of awe and fear. "It appeared 30 minutes ago," Alan said, pointing to the screen. "No warning, no signals, just appeared." The display showed a massive vessel, unlike anything humans had built. It hovered near Jupiter, dwarfing the Earth ship stationed nearby. Its surface gleamed with lights that pulsed in patterns Lily couldn't recognize. "Have they made contact?" she asked. Alan nodded. "Just now. They're broadcasting on all frequencies. They call themselves the Galactic Conclave." For decades, humans had wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer. Within hours, representatives from the Conclave requested a meeting with Earth's leaders. Their vessel dispatched smaller ships to Earth, Mars, and Europa. Lily was ordered to receive the visitors at her station. The alien delegation consisted of 5 different species. Their leader, Ambassador Zarok, belonged to a race called the Vestrani. He stood 7 feet tall with iridescent blue skin and 4 arms that moved with unsettling grace. "We have observed your world for many cycles," Zarok explained in perfect English. "Your species has reached the threshold where contact is permitted." "Why now?" Lily asked during their first meeting. "Why not earlier or later?" Zarok's mouth twitched in what might have been a smile. "Each species must develop at its own pace. Interference too early can be problematic." Over the next few days, news of the aliens spread across Earth and its colonies. Most humans celebrated. World leaders spoke of a new era of prosperity and knowledge. Lily wasn't so sure. She noticed patterns in the visitors' behavior. The way they spoke about humans when they thought no one was listening. The subtle dismissiveness in their tone. "They see us as children," she told Keith Mason, the xenolinguistics specialist assigned to the delegation. "Or pets." Keith nodded, his brow furrowed. "I've been analyzing their language patterns. There are nuances they don't think we catch. When they talk about sharing technology, they use terms similar to how we might discuss giving simple tools to developing nations. The Conclave offered limited technology exchanges, medical advances, more efficient energy systems. But when Earth officials asked about faster-than-light travel, the aliens became evasive. "Your species isn't ready," Zarok told them. "Such technology requires certain safeguards." Lily was assigned as Earth's military liaison to the alien delegation. This gave her access to their ships and information most humans didn't see. She began cataloging inconsistencies in the Conclave's statements. One night, as she reviewed security footage, she noticed a Vestrani officer examining Earth's defense systems with unusual interest. When questioned later, the alien claimed it was simple curiosity. Lily didn't believe him. Keith discovered references in Conclave communications to Earth being classified as a Class 4 volatile species. "What does that mean?" Lily asked. "I don't know," Keith replied. "But they've only given that designation to 2 other races in the galaxy." 6 months had passed since the Conclave arrived. Earth governments had signed treaties giving aliens access to remote areas in Siberia, the Amazon, and Central Australia. The official reason was cultural exchange. Lily Sanders didn't buy it. "They're up to something," she told Keith as they walked through Europa Station's hydroponics garden. The green plant stood in stark contrast to the sterile white walls. Keith nodded. I checked the landing zones. The ships they send down aren't passenger vessels. They're mining equipment. Lily stopped walking. They're taking our resources? Rare minerals mostly, elements that are hard to find elsewhere in the galaxy according to their own databases. This confirmed what Lily had suspected for weeks. The Conclave wasn't sharing technology out of kindness. They wanted something from Earth. That evening, Lily accessed the station's long-range sensors. She focused them on a remote area in Australia, where Conclave ships frequently landed. The readings showed massive energy signatures and excavation patterns. They've taken nearly 2 tons of rare Earth elements, she told Keith the next morning, and no one on Earth is asking questions. Keith had been busy too. He had managed to hack into a Conclave data stream, using knowledge of their language, to break their encryption. I found something called containment protocols, he said, showing Lily his tablet. And Earth is listed under potential disruptors. Lily read through the data. Class 4 volatile species, that's us. It says we show concerning patterns of rapid adaptation and aggressive innovation tendencies. They're afraid of us, Keith said quietly. Lily nodded. But why? We're centuries behind their technology. Maybe not for long, Keith replied. On Earth, Dr. Benjamin Clark worked in his lab at the North American Physics Center. The Conclave had shared some basic principles of their technology, but Ben had always been good at reading between the lines. By studying the energy signatures of Conclave ships, he had begun to understand the principles behind their faster-than-light travel. It wasn't as complex as they made it seem. In fact, humans had been on the right track before the aliens arrived. We're missing one piece, he told his assistant, Olivia Green. Their ships use a quantum field that bends space. We need to understand how they generate it. Back on Europa, Lily was called to an emergency meeting of the United Earth Council via secure channel. Representatives from all major Earth governments attended. We have evidence the Conclave is mining Earth resources without permission, said the Secretary General. Should we confront them? Opinions were divided. Some wanted to demand answers. Others feared angering the technologically superior aliens. We, should play along, Lily suggested. Let them think we're in the dark. Meanwhile, we push our own technology forward. The Council agreed. Earth would continue diplomatic relations while secretly preparing for any outcome. After the meeting, Lily's team detected unusual energy readings from a Conclave vessel stationed in the Kuiper Belt, beyond Neptune. The readings suggested preparations for a large-scale operation. They're bringing in more ships, Alan reported. Big ones. Lily ordered increased surveillance. Something was happening and she needed to know. What? That night, Keith burst into her quarters, his face pale. I decrypted more of their data, he said. There are only 2 other Class 4 species in the galaxy. Or there were. What happened to them? Lily asked, though she feared she knew the answer. They don't exist anymore, Keith whispered. The Conclave eliminated them when they developed certain technologies. Lily felt cold. What technologies? Quantum field manipulation. The exact thing Dr. Clark is working on. The pieces fell into place. The Conclave wasn't sharing technology. They were monitoring humanity's progress. The mining operations were secondary to their real mission, making sure humans didn't advance too quickly. Lily needed to warn Earth, but as she reached for her comm unit, alarms blared throughout the station. Unidentified ship approaching, came Alan's voice over the speakers. It's not Conclave design. Lily and Keith rushed to the command center. On the main screen, a small damaged vessel limped toward Europa Station. They're broadcasting a message, Alan said. Audio only. A raspy voice filled the room. Help us. The Conclave is coming. They mean to destroy you all. 6 months into humanity's relationship with the stars, celebrations continued. Technology flowed from the Conclave to Earth, though carefully controlled. Earth governments signed treaties granting aliens access to various remote regions for cultural exchange. But Lily Sanders couldn't shake the feeling that beneath the smiles and promises, the Galactic Conclave was hiding something. Something that would change humanity's future forever. And she was right. The damaged ship landed in a remote area of Arizona desert. United Earth forces secured a 5-mile perimeter around it before anyone else could arrive. Lily and Keith flew down from Europa Station on the fastest shuttle available. When they reached the crash site, armed soldiers surrounded the alien vessel. It was smaller than Conclave ships, with a sleek design that seemed built for speed rather than power. "Any movement?" Lily asked the captain in charge. "One life sign inside," he replied. "Weak but stable." A team of engineers had managed to open the main hatch. Lily, wearing a protective suit, was the first to enter. Inside, she found a single alien. Its skin was pale green, with 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. It lay on the floor, breathing with difficulty. "I am Ethrin," it said in halting English. "I came to warn you." Medics rushed in to help the injured alien. They moved Ethrin to a field hospital set up nearby. Lily stayed by his side while Keith worked to translate the ship's data systems. "The Conclave hunts me," Ethrin explained once. He was stable. "I escaped with information they don't want you to have." "What information?" Lily asked. "The truth about what they do to species like yours." Ethrin explained that he belonged to a race called the Myriad. They were not part of the Conclave. In fact, they had been hiding from it for centuries. "The Conclave presents itself as a peaceful alliance," Ethrin said. "But its true purpose is to control technological development throughout the galaxy." According to Ethrin, the Conclave had a history of neutralizing species that developed certain capabilities too quickly. These species were considered threats to galactic stability. "Earth has been classified as an exceptional threat," Ethrin continued. "Your rapid adaptability and psychological traits concern them." "What psychological traits?" Lily asked. "Your persistence, your creativity in the face of challenges. Most species accept limitations. Humans try to overcome them." Keith arrived. With data translated from Ethrin's ship, the information confirmed what the alien was saying. The Conclave's true governing body, called the Ascendancy Council, had authorized the containment of Earth. "Containment?" Lily asked. "What does that mean?" Ethrin's 4 eyes blinked sadly. "For some worlds it means restrictions and monitoring. For others, when deemed necessary, it means elimination." Lily felt sick. They would destroy an entire planet? "They have done it before," Ethrin said. "My people barely escaped." As Lily processed this information, an alert came through her comm unit. Conclave ships had entered Earth's atmosphere, demanding to inspect the crash site. "They claim the vessel contains dangerous fugitives," the Secretary General explained over the comm. "They insist on taking custody of any survivors." "We can't. Let them take Ethrin," Lily told her superiors. "He has critical information about their plans." The United Earth Council debated while Conclave forces surrounded the crash site. Ethrin provided data showing the locations of hidden Conclave weapons platforms throughout the solar system, positioned to strike Earth if needed. "We've been living under their guns this whole time," Keith said, looking at the data. "And we never knew," Dr. Clark called from his lab. "I've made a breakthrough," he said. "I understand how their FTL drives work. We could build our own within months, not years." This news changed everything. If humans could travel faster than light, they could escape Earth if necessary. They could find allies. The Council decided to stall the Conclave while secretly evacuating Ethrin to a secure location. Dr. Clark would continue his work with increased security. Lily was chosen to meet with the Conclave representatives. As she prepared for the meeting, Keith rushed in with new information. "I decrypted more of Ethrin's data," he said. "The Conclave doesn't just fear our potential. They fear what we might discover." "Discover what?" Lily asked. "That they're not the most advanced civilization in the galaxy. They're just the most aggressive." As Lily headed to the meeting, Conclave ships took posit for 3 days. Earth officials negotiated with the Conclave. They claimed Ethrin was receiving medical treatment and couldn't be moved. In reality, he was helping Dr. Clark understand alien technology and sharing information about Conclave weaknesses. Lily stayed at Europa Station, monitoring Conclave ship movements. The number of alien vessels in the solar system had doubled in the past day. They're positioning for something, she told Keith over a secure channel. Not just around Earth. I'm seeing ships near Mars and the Moon, too. Keith was still on Earth, working with Ethrin. The Council is sending evacuation ships to key research facilities. We're moving essential personnel off-planet. Lily checked her screens again. They need to hurry. I don't think we have much time. She was right. At Odo 300 hours Earth time, all communication with the Conclave suddenly stopped. Their ships went dark, shutting down all external systems. What are they doing? Alan asked, watching the monitors, beside Lily. Before she could answer, the screens lit up with new energy signatures. The Conclave ships were powering weapons. Send the alert, Lily shouted. All channels, attack imminent. But it was too late. The first strikes hit Earth's military bases. Beams of energy sliced through defense installations in North America, Asia, and Europe. Orbital platforms exploded in silent bursts of light. Then the Conclave targeted major cities. From Europa Station, Lily and her crew watched in horror as explosions bloomed across Earth's surface. Millions died in the first minutes. The Conclave, struck without mercy, hitting population centers and research facilities with equal ferocity. Dr. Clark's laboratory in Colorado was among the first targets. The entire complex vanished in a flash of light. Ben, Lily whispered, staring at the screen. She had known him since flight school. The worst came next. A Conclave battleship moved into position above Denver, home to Earth's largest quantum computing center. It released a single device that fell toward the city. When it detonated, it wasn't like the other weapons. There was no explosion. Instead, a wave of energy spread outward in expanding rings. Everything it touched simply shut down. Cars stopped. Lights went out, people fell where they stood. What was that? Alan asked, his voice shaking. Keith's voice came through Lily's comm. He had managed to reach a bunker beneath the Appalachian Mountains. Ethrin says it's a neutronic cascading bomb. It creates a field where no electrical system can function, including human nervous systems. They're killing everyone, Lily said. It's worse, Keith replied. Ethrin says that weapon is forbidden even by Conclave laws. It's considered a war crime under their own galactic conventions. The attack continued for 6 hours. When it was over, most of Earth's military capabilities were destroyed. Major cities lay in ruins. The dead zone around Denver was spreading, killing everything it touched. Conclave ships turned their attention to human outposts on the Moon and Mars. The colonies there had no chance against such firepower. Europa Station remained untouched. Perhaps the Conclave didn't consider it a threat, or perhaps they had other plans for it. A message broadcast across all human frequencies in every language spoken on Earth. People of Earth, said Ambassador Zarok's voice. Your governments have committed technological violations against Conclave directives. You have pursued forbidden research and harbored enemies of galactic peace. This intervention was necessary to preserve order. Surrender all remaining military assets and submit to Conclave authority. Further resistance will result in the complete sterilization of your world. In the silence that followed, Lily Sanders made a decision. Europa Station had something the Conclave might not know about. A prototype stealth ship, designed for long-range exploration. We're not surrendering, she told her crew. We're going to fight back. Alan looked at the screen showing Earth's devastation. How? They destroyed everything. Not everything, Lily said. And they made one critical mistake. What's that? Asked a crew member. They committed a war crime, Lily replied, against their own laws, and we're going to make sure everyone in the galaxy knows it. Ions around Earth. Ambassador Zarok's message was clear. Surrender Ethrin or face consequences. No, he crashed in your desert, Zarok said when Lily arrived. Give him to us and this unfortunate incident can be forgotten. Lily met his gaze steadily. We're still treating his injuries. Once he's stable, we can discuss his status. Xeroc's eyes narrowed. Do not test our patience, Commander Sanders. You don't understand what's at stake. I think I'm beginning to, she replied. 3 months after the attack, the remains of humanity had scattered across the solar system. Hidden bases on Mars, Europa, and even in Earth's deep oceans housed the survivors. The Conclave maintained a heavy presence around Earth, but they couldn't find everyone. Lily had transformed Europa Station into the headquarters of the human resistance. What began as a small scientific outpost now housed engineers, soldiers, and refugees from Earth. Status report, Lily said, entering the command center. It was once a research lab. Now it was filled with salvaged equipment and stolen Conclave technology. Alan gestured to a holographic display showing the solar system. We have 7 operational ships, 3 built by us, 4 captured from Conclave patrols. Lily nodded. It wasn't much of a fleet, but it was a start. Keith entered the room, followed by Olivia Green, who had escaped Earth just before the attack. Once an assistant to Dr. Clark, she was now their lead scientist. We found something, Keith said. Olivia, show her. Olivia activated a data pad. We've been monitoring Conclave communications. There's dissent among their ranks. Many species in the Alliance aren't happy about what happened to Earth. She played a recording. The language was alien, but Keith had added translation text. The use of neutronic weapons violates our most sacred laws, said a Conclave official. The Vestrani must answer for this crime. The Vestrani are Xerox species, Keith explained. They led the attack, along with 2 other dominant Conclave races. But the other 34 species weren't consulted. This was the first good news Lily had heard in months. Can we use this? Maybe, Olivia said. But there's more. Dr. Clark survived. Lily stared at her. Ben's alive? How? He wasn't at the lab when it was hit. He had taken key research to an underground facility. He's been working there ever since. Olivia handed Lily another data pad. On it was a message from Clark. I finished it, the drive works, sending coordinates for pickup. Dr. Clark had completed his quantum propulsion system, the very technology the Conclave had tried to prevent. With it, humans could travel faster than light. They could escape the solar system if needed, but Lily had no intention of running. Get a team ready, she ordered. We're going to retrieve Dr. Clark and his drive. 2 days later, a stealth ship left Europa heading for Earth. Lily led the mission herself. They landed near the Rocky Mountains, in an area not yet reached by the dead zone from Denver. The entrance to Clark's bunker was hidden beneath an abandoned mine. When Lily's team arrived, they found more than just the scientist. Nearly 100 survivors had gathered there, including Ethrin. I knew you'd come, Clark said, embracing Lily. He looked thin and tired, but his eyes were bright with purpose. He showed her his creation, a device smaller than she expected, pulsing with blue energy. It's more advanced than anything the Conclave has, he explained. Their FTL technology is efficient but conventional. This uses principles they haven't discovered yet. While Clark's team prepared the drive for transport, Ethrin approached Lily. There is something you should know, he said. My people, the Myriad, were not destroyed. We have a hidden homeworld beyond Conclave space. Other victims of their containment have found refuge there. Lily considered this information. How many species? 7, including mine. All labeled volatile by the Conclave, all targeted for elimination. Can you contact them? Ethrin nodded. With your new drive, yes. On the return journey to Europa, Lily formed a plan. They would split their forces. Dr. Clark would install his drive on their largest ship. Lily would take that vessel to contact the Myriad and other survivors of Conclave aggression. Meanwhile, Keith and Olivia had made another breakthrough. They had managed to hack into the Conclave's communication network. We can broadcast a message to every Conclave world simultaneously, Olivia explained when they returned to Europa. Show them what really happened to Earth. Show them the war crime, Keith added. For the first time since the attack, Lily felt hope. The Conclave had violated their own most sacred laws. If other species learned of this, the Alliance might fracture. Get Q. Every piece of evidence we have, she told her team. The neutronic bomb, the targeting of civilians, everything. We're going to turn the galaxy against them. As they prepared for their mission, a scout ship returned. The defecting Conclave ships brought more than just allies. They brought access codes to the Conclave's central data network. With these codes, Lily's team could access information that would have taken years to hack. "We never agreed to the attack on your world," said Velnar, the leader of the defectors. He belonged to a species called the Trisari, with silver skin and eyes that changed color with his mood. Many of us protested, but the Vestrani and their allies control the Ascendancy Council. Lily met with the defectors in Europa Station's conference room. Keith and Olivia joined her, along with Dr. Clark, who had installed his quantum drive on their largest ship, now named the Defiance. "Why help us now?" Lily asked Velnar. "The neutronic weapon changed everything. It violated the oldest law of the Conclave. No species should face extinction." His eyes shifted to a deep blue. "We fear we may be next if we question the Vestrani too openly." Using the access codes, Olivia led a team into the Conclave's data networks. What they found shocked even those who had witnessed Earth's destruction. The attack on Earth wasn't a punishment, Olivia reported. It was preventive. The Vestrani feared human potential. They've been eliminating threats for centuries. The data showed that only 3 of the dominant Conclave species had orchestrated the attacks, hiding their actions from the wider alliance. Earth was the 5th world they had targeted for destruction. "There's more," Keith said. "The Vestrani are planning to finish what they started. They're preparing a fleet to hunt down the remaining humans." Lily called her command team together. The time for hiding was over. "We have 3 advantages," she told them. 1, we have allies within the Conclave. 2, we have Clark's quantum drive, which is faster than their ships. And 3, we have proof of their crimes. Her plan was bold. They would split their forces. Lily would take the Defiance to find the myriad homeworld, guided by Ethrin. Meanwhile, Keith and Olivia would lead a mission to broadcast the evidence of Conclave war crimes throughout their territory. "If we can turn enough species against the Vestrani, we might have a chance," Lily said. The next day, the Defiance prepared to depart. Dr. Clark made final adjustments to the quantum drive while Lily briefed her crew. "This will be the longest journey humans have ever attempted," she told them. "We don't know what we'll find beyond Conclave space, but we know what happens if we do nothing." As the crew prepared, Alan approached her privately. "I've been analyzing the Vestrani fleet movements," he said. "They're gathering a massive force near Saturn. I think they know about Europa Station." Lily nodded grimly. "How long do we have?" 3 days, maybe 4. Not enough time to evacuate everyone. Some would have to stay behind and face the Vestrani. Keith approached with his own update. "We're ready to begin the broadcast. Once we start, every Conclave world will see what really happened to Earth." Lily made her decision. "Launch both missions now. We can't wait." The Defiance departed first, its quantum drive creating a ripple in space unlike the usual Conclave FTL signature. Ethrin guided them toward coordinates far beyond the edge of known space. Hours later, Keith and Olivia led a small team on a captured Conclave vessel. They headed for the nearest Conclave communication hub, where they could access the broadcast network. Those remaining at Europa Station prepared for the coming battle. They had limited weapons, but strong defenses. They might not survive, but they would buy time for the missions to succeed. As the Defiance traveled further than any human ship before, Lily stood on the bridge, watching unfamiliar stars streak past. "We're approaching the outer boundary of Conclave space," Ethrin announced. "Beyond this point they do not patrol." "How much farther to your homeworld?" Lily asked. 2 days at this speed. My people will be surprised to see humans. Will they help us?" Ethrin's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. They have waited centuries for someone to challenge the Conclave, but they will need proof that humans are worth the risk. Lily smiled. "Then we'll give them proof." Back in Conclave space, Keith's team reached the communication hub. They docked without raising suspicions using credentials from the defectors. Once we start the broadcast, we'll have minutes before they shut us down, Olivia warned. Keith nodded. Then let's make those minutes count. They uploaded their evidence, images of Earth burning, data on the neutronic weapon, and proof of the Vestrani's secret elimination program. Across thousands of worlds, the truth about Earth was revealed, with unexpected news. A small fleet of conclave vessels was approaching Europa Station, but they weren't in attack formation. They're broadcasting on our frequencies, Alan reported. They want to talk. What are they saying? Lily asked. Alan looked up from his console, surprise evident on his face. They're saying they want to defect. The broadcast changed everything. Within hours, protests erupted across conclave worlds. Species that had lived under Vestrani rule for centuries suddenly questioned their leaders. The images of Earth's destruction, the proof of the illegal neutronic weapon, and the revelation of other eliminated worlds sparked outrage throughout the galaxy. Keith and Olivia barely escaped the communication hub as Vestrani forces closed in. Their small ship raced back toward Europa, pursued by enemy vessels. Did it work? Keith asked as Olivia checked the communication feeds. She nodded, her face lit by the glow of dozens of transmissions. Every major world in the conclave is in chaos. The Vestrani are trying to block the broadcasts, but it's too late. Everyone has seen what they did. Meanwhile, the Defiance arrived at the edge of an unremarkable star system. Ethrin directed them toward the third planet, a blue-green world hidden by a complex sensor array that made it appear uninhabitable to distant scans. My people have lived here in secret for over 200 years, Ethrin explained as they approached. After the Vestrani attacked our original homeworld, the survivors built this place to be undetectable. Myriad ships approached the Defiance, their weapons ready. Ethrin sent a recognition signal, and after tense moments they were escorted to the planet's surface. Lily was surprised by what she found. The Myriad city was built mostly underground, but it wasn't just Ethrin's people who lived there. Representatives from 6 other species coexisted, all survivors of conclave containment actions. We call ourselves the Free Worlds Assembly, explained Neris, the Myriad leader. She was older than Ethrin, her green skin faded to pale mint. For generations, we have gathered strength and knowledge, waiting for the right moment to challenge the conclave. Is this the right moment? Lily asked. Neris studied her carefully. Your evidence of their war crime has created the first real opportunity. But the Vestrani and their allies still control most of the conclave's military power. Dr. Clark presented his quantum drive technology to the assembly scientists. They were astonished by its capabilities. This exceeds even our most advanced systems, said a scientist from a species called the Vrel. How did you develop this so quickly? Humans adapt, Clark explained simply. It's what we do best. Back at Europa Station, the situation had grown desperate. The Vestrani fleet had arrived, led by Ambassador Xerox himself. His massive command ship dwarfed the human outpost. Surrender the rebels and any conclave defectors, Xerox demanded. Your species has caused enough disruption. Alan, now in command of the station, stalled for time. Our leaders are currently in transit. We need time to contact them. You have 1 hour, Xerox replied. Then we will destroy your station and everyone in it. Alan sent an emergency message to both Lily and Keith. The station wouldn't survive a direct assault. Keith and Olivia's ship was closest but still hours away. They had picked up additional defectors during their return journey, conclave ships that had seen the broadcast and switched sides. We can't get there in time, Keith told Olivia, but maybe we can distract them. Using the defectors' knowledge of Vestrani tactics, Keith developed a bold plan. They would hack into the Vestrani BattleNet, the system that coordinated their fleet movements. At the Free Worlds Assembly, Lily received Alan's distress call. She immediately requested help from Neris. Europa Station is about to be destroyed, she explained. 300 humans and 20 conclave defectors will die. Neris called an emergency meeting of the Assembly Council. Representatives from all 7 refugee species gathered in a circular chamber, For generations we have hidden, while the Conclave eliminated those they feared, Nerys told them. Humans have done what we could not. They expose the truth. If we do not stand with them now, we dishonor our own lost worlds. The debate was brief, but intense. In the end, the council voted unanimously to help. We have a fleet, Nerys told Lily. Not large, but advanced. We've been building it in secret, preparing for a day we weren't sure would ever come. Within hours, 60 ships of the Free World's assembly prepared for departure. They were joined by the Defiance, with Dr. Clark's quantum drive technology now integrated into their systems. We can reach Europa in 12 hours, Nerys said. I hope that's soon enough. As the fleet departed, Lily received a new message from 5. Years passed since the battle that changed the galaxy. Lily stood on a balcony overlooking New Denver, the gleaming city built where old Denver once stood. The dead zone was gone, replaced by towers that reached toward the sky and parks filled with children playing. Hard to believe it used to be. A wasteland, said Alan, joining her at the railing. Age had added gray to his hair, but his eyes were still sharp. Sometimes I still see it burning when I close my eyes, Lily admitted. The battle for Europa Station had been the turning point, when Xeroc's fleet prepared to destroy the outpost. They found their targeting system suddenly malfunctioning. Keith's work in the BattleNet. The confusion bought just enough time for the Free World's assembly fleet to arrive, led by the Defiance. What followed was the largest space battle humans had ever participated in. The Vestrani had numbers, but the assembly ships had better technology, and the human vessels, upgraded with Clark's quantum drive, moved in ways the Conclave had never seen before. The broadcast of Earth's destruction had already sparked rebellion across Conclave space. When news spread that the mythical Free World's assembly had joined with humans, more Conclave ships defected. The Vestrani found themselves fighting on multiple fronts. In the end, Xeroc's command ship was captured. The ambassador who had ordered Earth's destruction was taken prisoner, along with the leaders who had authorized the neutronic weapon. The Secretary General wants to see you, Alan said, interrupting Lily's memories. The Galactic Council is ready to vote. Lily nodded and followed him to a waiting shuttle. They flew over Earth's rebuilt cities. In many ways, the planet was more beautiful than before. The reconstruction had been done with both human and alien technology, creating something new. The shuttle took them to Unity Station, the massive structure in Earth orbit that served as headquarters for the United Systems, the alliance that replaced the Conclave. Representatives from 53 worlds worked there, including all former Conclave species and the Free World's assembly. Dr. Clark met them in the docking bay. Age had not slowed his mind, and his work on quantum physics had made him a legend throughout known space. Today's the day, he said with a smile. The final vote on the Vestrani. They walked together to the council chamber, a vast room with delegates from across the galaxy. At the center was the Secretary General of Earth, surrounded by the 7 leaders of the Free World's assembly. The council will now vote on Resolution 147, announced the Secretary General, the restoration of full membership rights to the Vestrani people, following their completion of war reparations and governmental reforms. The vote was displayed on a large screen. One by one, worlds voted yes. Even worlds that had once been attacked by the Vestrani chose reconciliation over continued punishment. The resolution passes, declared the Secretary General. The Vestrani delegation may take their seats. A group of blue-skinned aliens entered the chamber. They looked similar to Xeroc, but their posture was different, less arrogant, more humble. This completes the reunification of all former Conclave worlds under the United Systems Charter, the Secretary General continued. Today marks the end of one era and the beginning of another. After the session, Lily met with Nerys. The myriad leader had aged considerably, but remained a powerful voice in galactic politics. Your people have accomplished in 5 years what mine couldn't in 2 centuries, Nerys said. You've transformed the galaxy. We had help, Lily replied, and a powerful motivation. They looked out a viewport at Earth below. Ships from dozens of worlds moved in and out of orbit, bringing goods and visitors from across the galaxy. "What will humans do next?" Neris asked. "You've rebuilt your world, brought justice to those who attacked you, and established a new galactic order. What challenge remains?" Lily smiled. "We've only explored a fraction of the galaxy. There are still stars no one has visited, mysteries no one has solved." That evening, Lily returned to the memorial in New Denver. It was a simple monument, a sphere of black stone with the names of Earth's lost cities etched in light. Beneath, it was a plaque that read, "From one crime came justice for all." As she stood there, a group of children ran past, followed by their teacher. Among them were humans, Myriad, Trisari, and even young Vestrani. They played together without fear or hatred. Lily watched them and thought about how far they had come. One terrible act had nearly destroyed humanity, but in responding to it, humans had found allies, revealed corruption, and created something better than what came before. The crime against Earth had indeed sealed the galaxy's fate, just not in the way the Vestrani had intended. Keith. His team had successfully infiltrated the Vestrani battle net. They couldn't stop the attack on Europa, but they could cause confusion in the enemy fleet. "It's time to show the Vestrani what happens when you commit a war crime against Earth," Lily told her crew, as the combined fleet jumped to faster-than-light speed. "The entire galaxy is about to learn why humans are classified as a volatile species."